Hey everybody, Aaron Boone, founder of MVP Mailhouse. I got a really important topic today that I want to talk about. It's really interesting because, I've spoke with offices and worked with offices all across the country. I've been doing marketing specifically for dentists and exclusively for dental practices for the last 10 years. Something that's really interesting to me is this question. What is a new patient to your practice worth? So I want to look at it in a couple ways. Most offices, I would say 90% of the offices I ask that question, they don't know. And the reason why that's concerning for me, well, one, I do marketing for a living. So all day, every day, I am working with dental practices in marketing and driving new patients to their office, specifically, as you know, through direct mail. And our analytical-based approach to direct mail is really unique because it helps us target the best homes to get the best patients, what message we send, what offers people respond to, how well your front desk answers the phone calls. All these variables matter. But I'm actually not going to talk much about our product today. What I want to talk about is the value of a new patient. Now, I've read books, I've heard people talk about this over the years. It's an interesting topic because most dentists, most office managers don't know, or they guess. So let me just tell you, what is a new patient worth to your practice? Well, on average, it's said that each new patient that comes into your office is valued at around $750 to $1,250 over the first year. Okay, that's the short term, $750 to $1,250. Now, why the variance? Well, pedo practices are obviously going to be less, state care programs, things like that. You're going to have a lower patient value. Pedo practices, there's just not as much work to be done, so it's lower. But you also have implants. You have, higher, bigger case practices. I've seen as high as $4,000, $5,000, the average new patient. But on average, they say about $750 to $1,250. Now, they say, what I'm going to go off is what I see. So one of the really unique things about our direct mail program is we track everything. As a former pro football player, I love stats and analytics. Okay, if I was Jerry Jones, and he used to be my boss when I was with the Cowboys, I wouldn't pay people, which he doesn't, unless he has data in front of him. He has analytics. He knows how valuable his players are and who's performing, who's scoring touchdowns, who's dropping the ball, etc. So back to dental practices. How valuable to you is a new patient? So that's important to know. Now, I would be happy. One of our free offers on this is to perform. I'll show you what your average new patient value is over the first year and over 3 years of what they bring to your practice. Now, why does it vary? Well, when they come back in 6 months and in 12 months, that number continues to climb. But some people don't come back. So there is an average. Some people may only come in for an offer or an exam or a second opinion and not spend money, but the very next person just spent $4,000. You see why that average comes in. Now that we're talking about this number, let's say your average practice, your average new patient's worth $1,000. What's the lifetime value of that patient? And this is what a lot of practices don't think about. That patient, rarely, when I look at patient data per household, rarely do I only see one person in the house that comes to your office. Typically, there's a spouse, a significant other, family member, a child, a kid, a relative, also related to that house. So there's instantly 2 patients per household, $2,000 in that first year. Well, those 2, if you take care of them, typically they are going to refer another family member or friend outside of the home, a coworker, an acquaintance. Now you just got number 3, 4, 5. So let's say you only get 5 total patients from that first one. Do the math. There's $5,000 just in the first year revenue production from that one patient you got. Now, lifetime value, they're going to come back year 2, year 3, some will move, etc. But that value is really hard to quantify. I've seen it as high as $10,000 as a lifetime value. We do live in a world that's a little more transient. People tend to move a little bit more. There's competition, new dentists coming into town. You may not stay at the same practice that long. But in general, $1,000 in the first 12 months, and anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 in the coming years from that patient. Now, any significant work, obviously, it goes much bigger than that. Now, why is this important? Let's go back to marketing. When your phone rings with a potential new patient, if it's not answered, only 10% of the people are leaving a voicemail. What do? They hang up and they pull out their phone, and they look for another next closest practice. Maybe they find a better website. Maybe they find someone closer to their home, and they never call your office back. And because they didn't leave a voicemail, you never call them, and you just lost not just the $1,000, the potential $5,000 to $10,000 that patient brings to your office. You see what I'm saying? So variables are so important in marketing. They say football is a game of inches, right? Well, so is a successful practice. You got to do the little things to do the big things and accomplish the big things. When you do a direct mail postcard with us, one, we want to target the right homes. So we start with a heat map, which is really cool. We've built some software called Map IQ, where we pin drop out your current patients, as you can see here, and then we pull them out of the mailing list and we mail to all of their neighbors. Typically, you have like-minded people living next door. We also look at geographical barriers of entry, mental barriers of entry, where patients' migration patterns of how patients come to you. All of these things matter when you do marketing. Okay, so where do you mail this? Don't just do a broad mailing to a whole city or a zip code. We can be targeted in our approach. Number two, the message is very important. What are you sending? What offers? Cash patients will respond to certain types of offers. Insurance patients, others. In-house plan. All of that matters in the design. At MVP, we custom create each one of our designs. We don't give you like a cookie cutter template that you have to use. We custom create to match your brand, because your brand, your message will resonate with certain people. $1,000, their network, $5,000 to $10,000 comes. So not just do we target the right homes, custom design, but we do all the printing, the postage, the addressing, the shipping. You don't have to worry about any of that. And we do it all for less than the cost of a stamp. So for around 40 to 44 cents per card, we do everything, start to finish. And then I think the most important part of our program is the back-end tracking component. Back to the Cowboys, which was my first NFL team, and Jerry Jones. He's gonna make decisions based on results. So I challenge offices to try us. We'll track everything, and then you'll know if we performed, what return on investment you got. What do I mean by tracking? Well, every call that you get from your postcard is recorded. Within hours, we listen to the recording and we write down notes of what happened on the call. What offer did they ask about? Who at your office answered the phone call? Oh, and by the way, if you miss a call, we're gonna alert you instantly. You get an instant notification of any missed calls so you can follow right back up, because you don't wanna lose that $10,000. Call that person right back. Hey, sorry, we just missed a call from this number. This is Aaron with Happy Dental. Were you calling to schedule a new patient appointment? Just follow back up with those people, even if they don't leave a voicemail, because they're so valuable to you and your office. Okay, next, so yes, we record, we listen to every call you get, but even further, we then do a matchback audit. After your initial campaign, we have you run a report out of your software of all your new patients, and we run our report of everyone that called that tracking number, and we match them up in a matchback audit where we can show you exactly patients that you didn't even know came from the postcard, and vice versa. You may have some that we didn't know. Maybe they walked in with the card and never called the number. Okay, so that's where this matchback's really cool, and then we go pin drop them back on your map so you know exactly where they came from, what the source was, were they cash, were they insurance, what offer worked, so that now you have more predictable results and trackable results. No more guessing on your marketing. Enough. You should know. You put yourself in the owner's seat of an NFL franchise, and now you're gonna have data and analytics when using MVP. So you know how much your average patient's worth. I just talked to a doctor yesterday. Their average new patient over the last 6 months is $871 already. That doesn't even include when they come back 6 months from now. And that number goes up over the first year, plus the referrals, etc. Hopefully you get my picture. Hopefully this was helpful. The value of the no patient. Know what you're going for. When you market, know what you're looking for. And also know how valuable that phone call is. Front desk, it's gotta be #1 priority. You can be the best dentist in America, but if that phone isn't answered or isn't handled well, nobody's gonna know. And you're leaving money on the table. That patient and their network are going to your competition. We're really big on the front desk. We do free front desk tips and training as well as we listen to recordings, because we want your front desk to be very talented and very efficient in handling these calls and scheduling them. The better they are, the more patients you get, the more production and dollars coming into your practice. Anyway, hey, I hope this was helpful. All the best. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.